obviously I haven't met him yet, so it's you want to come speak to our Rotary Club? And since I've been in Rotary multiple times in my life, I was like, that'd be a real honor to do that. So, as we all know, changing careers is never an easy thing, and to have an opportunity to live out your dream job is even more rare sometimes. And we all have jobs, and everyone has to do that, but you get to do something you truly love every day, and I do. But the path to get there wasn't easy. I was living in Chandler, Arizona, and it was 2009, and I didn't go home for Christmas that year, but I went home for my birthday weekend. I was single, having a great time in Chandler, working for the YMCA, great organization, and went home that weekend, and I was single, as I said, and lo and behold, my future wife, sitting right next to me on the flight, and 9 months later, we get married, and I move out here to the desert. The Y was always good to me, and my boss there tried to help me get a job with this Y, but the right fit just wasn't there for me. So I said, well, I'm obviously have to start a job search. But what was interesting was my wife and I had talked about maybe her moving to Phoenix, but she has such a great job that I said, well, I'll come here. And really, I thought I would land a job quickly. I thought the Y would work out great, or something else. I used to run health clubs, did a lot of things that I loved, but wasn't really ever my passion. So I got here, got settled, and I knew, based on past experiences with Rotary, that I needed to get back into a Rotary club. So one day I just literally closed my eyes, put my hand down, landed on Palm Desert Rotary Club, and I went to the meeting on that Tuesday afternoon. And it was so funny, those of you in the room that know Sue Static Young, the bell was still ringing to end the meeting, and she had made it from one side of the room to the other side of the room and said, what's it going to take for you to join? So I said, well, give me another week or two, but I ended up joining in early 2010, and wanted to get involved, and we had our annual golf tournament coming up, and my good friend Angie, who's here tonight, she actually was my first boss, not directly, but indirectly, and her and the committee that ran the golf tournament said, we need you to go out and solicit prizes for our golf tournament, so they sent me to Rotary clubs all around the valley to promote the event. I went around and met with other businesses to secure donations, and little did I know at that point what building that network would do for me down the road. So I was in Rotary, ended up being our club secretary for a couple of years, and I really made Rotary my job. That, and along with, I got my handicap in golf down from a 13 to a 7. That was going really well for me, and that was basically what I did for a few years. And at our golf tournament in 2011, I'm now the club secretary, Angie tells me that a gal by the name of Julie Bueller is going to be at our golf tournament that day doing her show, her sports talk radio show. And she said, you have got to meet her. And obviously Angie and I had numerous conversations about sports being my passion. And so I went up to Julie, went to lunch. She said, why don't you come on once a week and be my baseball guy? Well, I was blown away. I'd go on a sports talk radio show after 2 years of not having anything, and this is the pinnacle. I cannot believe that I get to go on and do this. So everyone was happy for me. She calls me after about 5 months, and she says, you know what, Geoff, you won't believe it, but now I'm unemployed because Team 1010 is being sold by Alpha Media to a new company. So we're out. So I was like, great, here we go again. So I'm starting to see this theme in my life over this two plus years that I've been in the Valley that I was never very good at. And I was patient. I wanted things to happen when I wanted them to happen. And, my wife and I are strong believers in the Lord, and we just said, you know what, there's a bigger plan here. Let's just stick with this radio thing and see what happens. So we got into 2012, and station, after it got sold, it's got to get approved by FCC. Julie calls me and she says, you know what, Geoff, I'm going back on in June. Like, great, but she didn't say I had a job. So I was happy for her. Well, of course, I'm 3,000 miles away when the phone call comes. My parents had bought us some plane tickets to go out for vacation, and I'm out on the East Coast, and I look down at my phone, and it's Julie calling me saying, she wants to offer me a job. I'm like, of course, 3,000 miles away. I've been waiting for this call for 2.5 years, and I'm now all the way across the country, and of course, I was being negative. I'm like, watch, something will go wrong, and I won't get this job. But got back to the Valley, and she said, I'd like you to be my co-host one day a week, but I really need you to sell all of our sponsorships, all of our advertisers, because we're independent contractors to the radio station. So, of course, I accepted it, and I was thrilled. Everybody that knew me was really happy for me. After about 3 months of doing that, station management said, you know what, we really like the show with you both doing it, so either Geoff's on every day or he's not on at all. Well, I wasn't just going to sell for her and not get to be on air, because that's the fun part of the day. All the rest of it's obviously tough work. So she agreed to it. It worked out, so here I am. I'm her co-host. So everything's going fantastic. We're selling, everything's going really well. Well, then she calls me at when was it? I don't know, 2014, June of 2014, she says, Geoff, I hate to tell you this, but KMIR called and they've offered me a job. I'm going to KMIR. Of course, she tells me this, maybe it was actually the 4th of July weekend, because I had to wait all weekend long to find out if I would have a job. Normally in radio, if you leave, you don't get the microphone the next, I mean, it's like, oh, you're leaving? Okay, then you're done here. So anyways, they were great to us, though. They let Julie finish up. And when we were in studio that Monday after the 4th of July weekend, you know, I was a nervous wreck. I didn't know. And I thought, you know, it's just been, had to keep being patient for these opportunities to be able to do what I truly love. And I couldn't believe it. The station manager thanked Julie for everything she did. And he turned to me and he said, Geoff, it's your show. And I went, what? And he goes, this is your show. He said, we want you to be the primetime guy. And it was funny because growing up, my family always said to me, you need to be in sports talk radio. You love it. And, you know, I had so much to learn. I didn't go to school to be in radio. I was so green behind the ears. You know, we'd have a celebrity in, and I'd go nuts because I had to learn. You don't have to go crazy when Mike Trout is standing next to you. You got to be cool. You know, so like, all these things I had to learn, and it was good for me. I got a lot of constructive criticism from Julie and other people that made me better. So when I got this opportunity to host my own show, it was just the best thing that ever happened. I was still working as a club secretary for Palm Desert Rotary Club, and I had a decent amount of time left on my term. And there was a group of people, Angie was one of them, that said, you do this, because they did not want me to miss this opportunity. And it's just been great. It'll be 2 years coming up here in July, and it's just, I feel blessed that every day I get to do my passion, and I get to be behind the microphone. But as I said, the rest of my day is a lot of hard work. I don't know if anyone else is in sales. Sales is not easy, no matter what you sell. I sell hope, and that the advertising is going to work. But I've held my own. I have a lot of wonderful sponsors, from Sullivan Steakhouse to Pete Nenda, Pete Carlson's, the Beer Hunter, and on and on and on. So it's gone well, but it's just been it's been a very interesting ride throughout, finding my own co-host. That was very difficult. Guys tried to be my co-host but work full-time jobs. People don't think that there's a lot of preparation that goes into a sports talk radio show every day. Well, I spend 2.5 hours getting ready for a 2-hour show. And so it was hard finding co-hosts, finally did. But every step has always been very challenging, but also very rewarding at the same time. And I've just learned that I needed to be patient and just let things play out. And it really has benefited me. So finally, 43 years old, I finally am a patient person, at least a little bit. I'm better than I was 3 or 4 years ago. But Bob listens to the show, and we have a lot of fun. My co-host name is Tyler Cantu. Great guy. He's actually an employee of the station and does other things, and then he's my co-host. So he's been great. We're coming up on 2 years and having the time of our life. We do a lot of football. If I don't talk football every day, even now, June 1st, my listeners are not happy. Baseball, okay, fine, but it's football. And so we're the home of the Trojans. Yay! Yep, we're the home of the Trojans. We're home of the Angels, the Clippers. We carry all the Monday night, Thursday night football. So we have a lot going on at 1010. We just recently added an FM frequency. We're now on 102.7. So that's really helped us. We're doing a lot more with social media. So to see all the different people that listen to my show that I meet out and about in the community, all different ages, men, women. I mean, people say, well, who really listens to you? I mean, I had a gentleman in a wheelchair one time at Ralph's come up to me, and while we were talking, and we were waiting on the same product to be brought out. Next thing you know, he starts telling me how he listens to sports talk radio, and I said, oh, do you listen to 1010? He starts rattling off everyone he listens to. I said, well, I'm the Dome. And he looks up and he goes, you're the Dome? And, you know, it's just, I would never thought he'd listen to my show. And so it's just been very rewarding to meet the people that I've met. Because I knew from the beginning when I got here, I needed to surround myself with good people. I knew Rotary had that, and that's why I got so involved. And again, by Angie sending me out, relationships that I made from her making me do those things really helped. I have an amazing wife that her husband was not working for 2.5 years, and she was okay with it because she knew how much I wanted to do this. So she's a big part of everything that I've been able to do. So it's been a great ride. I hope it lasts forever. I don't know how the radio's fickle. You never know how long it'll last, but everything's really good right now. So that's how I got there. Never in a million years did I think I'd get to live out my dream. And just by meeting her at 5 o'clock in the morning on an airplane and moving out to California, I never thought I'd leave Phoenix. I love Phoenix, but all the sports teams there I was having a lot of fun. But she's the love of my life, and it's just been really a great run here. So, awesome. Do you have any questions?